the need that I had as a principal was a way to sort of collect the thinking and to sort of have a place to sort of house that thinking where everybody could come in and look at that thinking and add to the thinking. But it wasn't in a Word document. It was something that was alive and was going to keep growing. And so the Office 365 tool afforded us that opportunity. And so we were able to create sites within our intranet subsite to be able to house that kind of thinking. So it's used at staff meetings and it's used at our collaborative inquiry sessions. So at the end of a staff meeting, perhaps I might ask them to put in a post related to an observation that they made as a result of whatever learning was going on at the staff meeting. And then similarly, they do the same thing with the collaborative inquiry. So it's given us a place to put our thinking. The next step, and what a lot of us have talked about, is that we'll often default to the internet for a lot of the kinds of things that we want to do. And that's great when it comes to ministry kinds of documents or EduGains or whatever, but one thing that we've talked about a lot more, probably more with my ELK and my primary people, is making those connections using the social media tool that's part of Office 365. And so talking a lot about hashtagging. So that'll be kind of what we look at this fall, is let's hashtag that and then see what kind of connections we can make. Because what we'd like to do is develop those virtual relationships, because we're in St. Thomas. We're not going to get to North London by 4:30 to be able to meet with that person. So how are we going to be able to do that? So I didn't get a ton of that, and I think part of that is we took a lot of time, at a staff meeting to kind of walk them through that. And because we did it every single staff meeting afterwards, it became much more automatic that they were using the web-based tool as opposed to the client tool that's right on their computer. Lately, what I've done is I'm trying to house our documents there in terms of our weekly updates and any kind of PD documents. That's a little bit harder because it does mean that they have to get out of the client and go back to the web-based. So at staff meetings and at collaborative inquiry sessions, they have the time to go in and do that. So now it's helping them develop the discipline too, to sort of go in and get those documents in a place that's going to be housed centrally. And I've communicated that I really think it's going to save a lot of time with emails and stuff when I can just say go in there and look for that. It's a bit of a challenge right now. It's the beginning of the year. We'll see how that goes.
For the team, the local team at the school, where everything we do, every document, everything that we access goes on the site, even our data, to help with the site. And the one good thing, to help with the work we do, the one good thing about that is that when the data changes, everyone has the most up-to-date data just instantly. As they change it, everyone has access to that most up-to-date data, which is awesome. Instead of taking the data that we used to do and reviewing it, and then someone updating it, then having to copy it or email it out to everyone in bulk, and then you're confused, well, what's the most up-to-date one? Is there a date on this? We don't have to worry about that anymore. And then the other thing that we save time is there's a discussion forum in there that we run our ideas by, and we share our ideas on the discussion forum part of this site. How can we use whiteboards to our advantage? That came up last year, and that was a big discussion. Someone found a very interesting link on that, and that helped a lot of people using them as we started using them in the with some collaborative learning approaches. When I'm focusing on QuadSci, I'm in the site, I'm in the blog, my mindset is there, that's what I'm focused on, and it helps with my own focus that way. And I can think about it, and I can see all the discussion forums that have happened, and I can keep in line and read people's thoughts as they go along. Where email, you have to, I find that I have to go to this, and then I have to go down one level, then another, and you never really see it, not like you do in the site.
Search out the information. So I mean, search out who out there can sort of help you set it up. Once it's set up, though, it pretty much runs itself. But it's creating that culture of collaboration, using the internet and using this new environment. So because it's a part of staff meetings, because it's a part of collaborative inquiry, it's part of the culture now. This is one way that we show our thinking. This is one way that we make our learning visible. So I would say start slow and make sure you have to keep at it. This isn't something that's going to suddenly take off unless you're part of that whole process. So the principal being involved in that level of communication is absolutely, it's integral. It can't happen without